Principles and Practice of Procurement. Unit 6. Contract Documents and Pricing Arrangements. Section 4. Pricing Schedules. In this section, we are going to look at pricing schedules, specifically firm price agreements and pricing schedules for major projects. At the end of this section, we should be able to explain firm price agreements and identify pricing schedules for major projects. Firm price agreement. A firm price agreement is a price that is not subject to any adjustment. A firm price agreement is used to describe contracts that are negotiated with fixed payment schedules, payments based on milestones, or payments based on fixed fees for a service. An example will include the fees paid per person per hour. Under such a contract, if the supplier finds that performing the contract is more difficult or costly than anticipated, he or she is obligated under the contract to deliver the product or to receive no more than the contracted price. So the price charged here, the fees paid here are fixed. Whatever we've agreed on is whatever we are going to pay till the end of the contract, the end of the agreed period. A firm price agreement schedule would be appropriate for procurement in any of the following circumstances: when a reasonable, comprehensive, and accurate specification is available. This means that the supplier should be able to calculate its expected cost accurately and therefore set a reasonable and accurate price. Also, when fair prices can be estimated and established more or less accurately based on more or less predictable costs. Another instance where firm price agreement will be appropriate is when there is relatively little risk of cost variation, or the supplier is willing to bear any risk or cost of variation in order to win the contract. These circumstances are highlighted here. The key point about firm price agreements and payment schedules is that these are advantageous to the buyer or the buying organization in various respects. Financial risk. Since the buyer's total price commitment is known in advance and the supplier bears all the risk of cost fluctuations, so the buying organization is able to plan ahead, they're able to draw an accurate budget, because any changes that comes in cost will be borne by the supplier. The risk is solely on the supplier and not the buying organization. Also, the cash flow management. Since the timing of payments will be pre-planned. Another advantage is the supplier motivation, where a fixed price schedule gives the supplier a strong incentive to complete the work efficiently and on time, since any cost savings below the agreed price are kept by the supplier, and it is also liable for any cost blowout. In other words, the amount of the supplier's profits depends on the actual cost outcome without a minimum or maximum profit limitation. If at the end of the project we have some surplus, the supplier is going to take it. The buying organization has no share in this surplus or no share in this remainder. The same way, if cost blowouts, the suppliers are going to bear these excess costs. Another advantage of firm price agreements to the buyers is that it comes with administrative simplicity and contract management cost, since the buyer will not be concerned with monitoring or auditing cost performance. Now, you've charged me, we've gone through the whole process, we've agreed on the price, I have paid, that is it. I don't care whatever happens. The only thing the buying organization is looking out for is that at the end of the period, at the end of the contract period, you should deliver what is in the contract. You should be able to fulfill your side of the deal. We don't waste any more resources monitoring and auditing your cost performance. Pricing schedules for major projects. For major projects such as construction or systems development, a firm price agreement may be expressed in a lump sum contract. The buyer and supplier agree a fixed sum for completing a specified program or work by a given date. This type of contract will usually include an element of flexibility. For example, it may include a contract price adjustment clause, which is usually based on agreed cost indices to take account of price fluctuations outside an agreed limit arising from contingency factors such as exchange rate movements, fluctuations in commodity prices, or high levels of inflation over the life of the contract. The role and accuracy of specification is very vital in awarding lump sum contracts. As with other forms of firm price arrangements, a lump sum approach ensures a high degree of supply motivation as it can lead to quality or performance concerns. That is, if the supplier is forced to cut corners to reduce its exposure to cost blowout. In order to avoid this, the project manager will need to monitor the progress of the project carefully. Now, if you think you will not be able to forecast price accurately, you can't determine future fluctuations correctly, you're not able to know what will happen in your market in the near future, or if the organization is unable to draw up a detailed specification to base the contracts and pricing schedule on, the organization may agree a schedule of rates or charges. Example, by paying per hours worked or per volume of materials used associated with aspects of the anticipated work. Payment is then made against actual quantities, applying the agreed rate. By way of summary, we have discussed pricing schedules. We specifically looked at firm pricing agreements and pricing schedules for major projects pertaining to contracts. Thank you.